Hello internets, Jesus loves you. My name's Cody and this is the Christian News Show we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays with geeksonthegrace.com. Before we get into the news, I do need to give a shout out to everybody who is donating on Patreon. We do have a reward on there that if you pay for it, you get a shout out on the YouTube channels. That's not what this is. It's just, you guys have raised $150 a month. I may or may not have teared up a little bit about it. So just thank you. And our first story of the day is about the friendliest fast food restaurant out there. And it turns out that it's Chick-Fil-A. Who would have thought? At least according to QSR magazine, because somebody actually asked that question. And it totally makes sense. I mean, have you ever walked into a Chick-fil-A? Like very recently, I walked into a certain fast food restaurant and they got mad at me because they messed up my order. And it wasn't like, oh, you forgot to put no cheese. It was that they forgot the entire burger. Chick-fil-A loves me. Chick-fil-A cares. Or at least they seem to when you walk in. And I didn't realize this as I was compiling today's show, but apparently today is all about studies. There has been a study on churches and how much they pay their staff. The study was done on 1,200 different churches that had a regular attendance of over 500. 98% of the money that goes into the church comes from the congregation. So if you think tithing's not important and you like your church, you're wrong. But what I thought was really interesting, I think it's going to annoy a few people, is that 49% of the money coming into the church is actually going to staff salaries or their benefits. Now, when you first hear that, that does sound really terrible, but really think about paying employees. Think about 20 employees at minimum wage working full time. How much is that going to cost? And let's be real here, the church is not going to be paid a minimum wage. I mean, most of these people went to college. So I think it totally makes sense that 49% of what they're making has to go to staff. I mean, you really do need your staff to be in a good place if you expect them to lead everyone else into a good place. But I'm curious what you guys will have to say about that. Do you think that 50% is too much? Do you think it's not enough? What do you guys think about church budgeting in general? And the final story of the day, I think, is going to be definitely our question of the day. We've talked about this in the past. See, there's this MMA fighter that they call Chris Cyborg. And as she's walking out to her fight, she has a worship song playing in the background. She has a cross around her neck that she kisses before she goes and she fights. Now, I know that there is a documentary out there called Fight Church that seeks to answer the question. That question being, does Christianity have a place in MMA? Can you love your neighbor while trying to knock them unconscious? Now, I think this is definitely a gray area. There is truth to both sides. Like, my only defense to this is, yes, it's okay. Paul talked about boxing in the Bible. And when he did so, he wasn't condemning it. He was using it to convey a message. So I'm curious. I want to know what you guys have to say. So please leave a comment in the comment section down below with your answer. Does Christianity have a place in MMA? I want to know what you guys have to say. As always, make sure you check out geeksonthegrace.com for more geeky content. My name is Cody Armour, bringing you Christian news in a not so boring kind of way every Tuesday and Thursday. In closing, let the haters hate, let the Christians pray, and to everybody who subscribe, I will see you later, and God bless.